Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
Second and goal. Rowan Jordan to take the snap from shotgun. Jake Conroy to his left. Hands off to Conroy. Now he's got some space and he's going to get in there and get the touchdown. It's a Knox Redskin touchdown. Jake Conroy strikes first. Blood has been drawn and the Redskins see red. 6-0 here in the opening quarter. And a good Saturday morning to you here on the Saturday Sports Line, September 16th, 2023. Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowan. We are back for more. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Had a good game last night and looking forward to the show today.
Man, what a game it was. The Winamac Warriors on the road to take on the North Judson-San Blue Jays scoreless through 3 quarters. The final score was 21-8. The Blue Jays won. All those points came in the 4th quarter. I'm excited to hear what head coach Josh Burgess and Brett Lambert have to say about that game.
Yeah, North Judson came in. Winamac, it's a rivalry game, and Winamac played like it was a rivalry, and Judson not so much. But, hey, a win's a win, and you move on to next Friday.
We talk about the Knox Redskins, and they are rolling along 5-0 to start the season. They took on John Glenn at home here at Community Field in Knox, Indiana, for homecoming, and they came away victorious. 37-8 was the final big-time win for the Redskins.
Yeah, they are on a roll right now, and just really just a buzzsaw, really, and tough to handle right now. They got the machine rolling there at Knox.
We'll have head coach Russ Radtke in just a little bit here as we look at our other area team undefeated. It's the West Central Trojans. They beat North Newton on the road last night, 68-6. Marc is doing good. Now, if we remember last year, the Trojans dropped week 4.
Yeah, to Culver.
So this is their start. They started this season better than they did last year, and last year we all know how well they did.
Exactly. The big question mark at West Central was going to be the up front, their offensive line. They had the skill guys coming back, so obviously some kids have stepped up, and they're meshing well. I mean, hey, yeah, North Newton is not the North Newton of old, let's be honest, but to still score 68 points, and I think 62 of those come in the first half.
Jeez.
Obviously, you're doing something right.
Well, we're going to have Marc here in just a few moments. We look around and see the South Central Satellites on the road against Hammond Knoll. You said they played in Whiting, correct?
Yeah, Whiting up on the shores of Lake Michigan from the home stands. Actually, there's only one set of stands on the home side, and you can actually see the lake right off the field there.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty impressive. It's field turf and all that. But, yeah, Whiting is as far as you can go northwest Indiana without being in Chicago.
Well, it was a very big-time, impressive win for the Satellites, 50-22. Huge game for them. We're going to talk with head coach Buzz Schoff in the second hour. We hope you stick around for that. And then finally, the Culver Cavaliers, they continue the struggles right now, still searching for that first win. 58-6 was the final as they fell to Triton at home, a cross-county battle there. The Trojans got the better of them.
And, yeah, Culver, again, a very young team, starting a lot of freshmen and sophomores. You just hope that they stick with it because in a couple years, what's being done to them right now, they could turn that table and actually return the favor here in a couple years, but they got to stick with it. They're going to take some lumps. Just got to stay positive and keep working to get better. Some
score updates from other sports in our area. The Culver Cavaliers volleyball team and the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays volleyball team faced off just a couple of days ago. Went 5 sets. The distance, North Judson-San got set 1, 25-13, but the Lady Cavs turned things around in set 2, 26-24. Then they won again in set 3, 25-21. Set 4, though, went to North Judson-San 25-16, and then solidifying the win for the Lady Jays in set 5, 15-14 was the final. We switch over and see Lady Soccer from Culver, the Culver Lady Cavaliers. We're going to hear from Giselle Villegas at the top of the next hour. Of course, she was our Athlete of the Week last week. We didn't get a chance to hear her interview. We will have her on. She cracked 100 career goals there at Culver. what an impressive achievement.
Yeah, that is very impressive. Like I said, 100 goals in soccer. Yeah, that's good because those games really, you score 5-6 goals, and I think the last match I think they scored 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really impressive. But usually a soccer match is 1-0 or 2-0. So yeah, 100 goals. That's really impressive.
Yeah, Giselle Villegas is the real deal, and she wants to play soccer at the next level. I think she's made her case with that record. We'll hear from her in the second hour. But the Lady Cavs beat Westville on Thursday, 10-1. That's how good this Lady Cavs team is. Sticking with soccer, but moving to Oregon Davis, the only boys soccer team in Stark County, the Oregon Davis Bobcats. I heard from head coach Cody Lowry. This is on Thursday night. They defeated Community Baptist, shutting them out by a score of 2-0. The dominant defensive and goalkeeping performance was backed by 2 goals by DJ Garland. Casey Cook and Andrew Soroki had 1 assist apiece. The boys look to go back against River Forest today, so we wish them good luck. Also wanted to mention, head coach Lowry let me know they broke the school's win record last night, or not last night, this is Thursday. He emailed me on Friday. That Thursday night win broke the school's win record. So hey, we had the head coach Lowry, him and his wife, she coaches the female team, the Lady Cats, of course. I mean, they are putting that program in the right direction. It's obvious.
Oh yeah, definitely trending upward, that's for sure.
Well, we look around our other area schools in action today. It's the New Prairie Cross Country Invitational. You said 90 schools are involved with that?
The last time I read, there was 90-plus schools that had signed up to run in that event. It's a big event, and I know the coaches look forward to seeing their kids run up Agony Hill. So interesting.
Well, we wish all of our area teams competing at the New Prairie Cross Country Invitational good luck today. I also had to do this real quick. I know it's not one of our area teams, but you see me in my Rushville shirt today. The Rushville Lions took on the Connorsville Spartans. That's their big rivalry. The war on 44, and the Lions beat Connorsville 52-28. Shout out to Matt Ketchum for sending me that. He was wearing a Knox Redskin t-shirt at the Rushville game, so he was still repping Knox down there.
There you go.
But a big win for the Lions. But hey, I wanted to bring this up first things first. As many of you are aware, we did not have a Saturday sports line last week. I know how important this show is to our listeners and to us here at WKVI, and I am here to tell you there is one person to blame for that, and that one person let us all down. That one person is me, and for that, I apologize. I left Chris and the coaches hanging last Saturday. It's all on me. There is no excuse. When I didn't show up on time, coaches and people that know me personally reached out, and their messages to me was just to see if I was okay. They were more worried than anything that something had happened to me, and that showed me a lot. They knew, just like I knew, this was an honest mistake. But I truly believe that this week showed not just us here at the station and the coaches, it also showed you, our loyal listeners, how important this show is and how dependent on it is by the fantastic listeners here in the Kankakee Valley. Thank you for enjoying what we do. Without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring you this type of broadcasting. It's just that simple. We need to have the funds in order to get to the games, for Chris and I to be able to broadcast these games. Without these sponsors, this tradition wouldn't continue, and we so appreciate each sponsor we have. We're always looking for more. But hey, now it's up to me how we move forward. To me, I just can't go out like that. That's why I have decided we are going to move forward, and we are going to hear the exciting plays from last week. We are going to talk with the coaches about last week's games, and we are going to continue the tradition. We talked to Marc of the West Central Trojans after the break.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
So now we see running in number 8, Connor Winzak, and this is Rowan Jordan from shotgun. A lot of storylines happening here tonight, but wouldn't have it any other way in this historic rivalry. As here's Rowan Jordan from shotgun, steps back, looks to throw, wide open. It's Jake Conroy for a Knox Redskin touchdown. What a play! Big time throw from Rowan Jordan. What a play for the Knox Redskins as they take back the lead, 21-18, Chris. From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. A little glimpse of the energy last week at Community Field. You could literally cut it with a knife.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely feel it. That was for sure. And I tell you what, we got Marc Hall on the line right now. 68 points last night, Coach, 52 the week before. Explain yourself.
We've had some success. The kids are playing hard, and good things are happening for us. Last night we had 62 in the first half, so we were able to get things rolling, and the kids executed everything that we put in place, and everything was going well.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, you're 5-0 right now. What's the vibe like there in West Central? What's the Trojans feeling like right now?
Oh, they're feeling pretty good. We've able to do a lot of things that we in the off season talked about that we need to be able to do, and we've accomplished those so far. But every week we've talked about that our ultimate goals are still, they're all out in front of us still of what we want to do. We've got a big one coming up in 2 weeks, and then we've got conference this week, and then we've got 2 more weeks after the county rivalry of conference as well. So we've got every week here is big. It's important because our goals were with winning conference again, and then playing our county rival. So those are all the games we have left. So every week is going to be huge for us, and the kids they know that that's coming. They've been working towards it, and we've been putting little things in here and there just to make sure we're ready, and they're excited. They're happy with what they've done so far, but we all know that we can do even better. So that's the one of the things we've been working at and trying to improve upon every week in practice.
5 weeks in, Coach, did you see yourself being undefeated?
I thought we would have a good shot at it with who we had coming back. Skill-wise, we had most of our returners from last year. The guy that we were missing is definitely Aiden White. He was a big part of our offense last year as one of our wings, but we have Connor Marlatt back at quarterback. We have Jacob Pilarski at fullback, and Spencer Lehman was one of our other starting wings last year. So those 3 guys were back and played a huge role for us last year. And then Austin Bolin has stepped in as our other wing, and he had reps there last year, so he has experience with what it would take. And then we have Josiah Rodriguez that joined the team this year and has fit in nicely as one of our guys we can put back there as well. So skill-wise, I knew we were going to be in really good shape with what we do offensively. It was up front. I thought we were going to need some guys to step up because that's where we lost Buzz Beiswinger at last year and Joe Jackson, and both of those guys have Buzz was a 4-year starter on offensive line, and Joe was a 3-year starter on offensive line. So we had holes we had to fill there, and the guys have done a nice job stepping up, and it's been very nice to see that the growth that those guys have made when their number was called, that we needed them to produce, and they're starting to do that now. So people like Blake Endress is a junior for us, and he's needed to step up this year and has done a great job in filling that role as our left guard. Rudy Rodriguez is another kid. He's a sophomore. We needed him to step in and be a right tackle, and he's done that. And then the other 3 guys are seniors that they've played a lot of football for us. They've been around. They know what they're doing. And that's Zach Gilger at left tackle, and Max Scholes at center. He's been a 3-year starter at center for us. Then Blake Hughes has been at right guard has been a 4-year starter. So those guys have played a lot of football and knew what they were doing. So we just needed 2 more guys there to step up, and we were able to get that. And that's been great to see. We were able to then because those guys stepped up, we were able to start using a tight end, and we moved Christian Hughes from a tackle spot to a tight end for us, and he's done an outstanding job there for us. And every week so far since we've moved him, that's been after week 1, he's had at least 1 touchdown in every game. So he's done a great job of when we run our play action, getting downfield and getting behind the safeties and being open for us.
Well, Coach, you took on North Newton last night. You had to travel all the way over to Morocco. This coming week, you take on the Rebels of South Newton. At least they are coming to Francisville. You don't have to make that trek down to South Newton. What do you know about the Rebels?
They've got they lost last night, which I was a little surprised to see. But they've got some good athletes still. They lost their top guys from last year, but they still got some athletic guys up that they use with their spread offense. They do. Their quarterback's back from last year. Their leading receiver, he was injured during last basketball season, so he's still recovering. I don't know if he's going to be back this week or when he'll be back exactly. But they've got some other receivers that can do some things. Up front, they lost quite a few guys from last year's team, so I think up front they may not be quite where they were at last year or on par with where they were at last year. So it's a team that they're going to be ready to come play us. They came after us last year, and that was a game that was a really close game at halftime. And then the second half, we were able to open it up, and defensively we stepped up and started making plays defensively last year. And then offense started pouring on points, and we ended up winning by 30. But it was at halftime, I think it was like a 1-score game. Maybe been even less, maybe like a 2-point game. We had the lead. It's just it wasn't very much. So second half, we definitely came out and did really well there. So we know that South Newton's going to come. They're going to be ready to play. They're going to try to throw the ball around a lot. So we got to be ready for that in the secondary and make sure that we're communicating coverages, and then hopefully up front we can get a good pass rush, which for the most part of the year we've been able to get a good pass rush. So hopefully that continues this week. And at least if we're not getting to the quarterback and getting sacks, we're at least putting some pressure on him. He's got to get rid of the ball early. So, again, hopefully all those things continue to go well for us, and we have another nice outing. It'll be a good night. We're going to be recognizing Buzz Beiswinger, honoring him for making the North-South All-Star game last year. So we're going to recognize him for that accomplishment. So it should be a fun night, and hopefully we're ready to go for it, and we don't worry too much about today. We've got our Francisville Fall Fest going on, so we're going to be in a parade. So hopefully we can have fun there, and then start focusing on South Newton as soon as that's over.
Yeah, and keeping the focus on South Newton and not looking a couple weeks ahead when you guys have to take on your cross-county rivals, and you guys are in possession of the Tomahawk this year. So, yeah.
Well, it's also it goes with basketball, so they currently have it again.
I meant to say that.
Okay.
Which I find that really, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'll just say it.
Stick to football.
That's,
basketball needs your own award, their own trophy.
I'd be okay with that. But they have it again, so we got to go win it back again, hopefully.
Well, there you go. Hey, before we let you go, we would be remiss if we didn't mention this. And I know that we coaches, we don't like the accolades or whatever, but from my understanding, last week you became the all-time winningest coach at West Central history. Is that correct?
Last week I tied it, and
last night
we were able to get it. And
good for you, Coach.
Well, thank you. It's the hard work of the kids, all the things they do, and I couldn't be there without them. So it's really a group award that they've done there. So I'm very thankful for all the work that they do, and I hope I can continue to help them out any way I can, and help us keep this thing going.
Well, Marc, I know you're focused on South Newton, but we are excited about your matchup with Winamac. We're not just going to see you once this year. We're going to see you in Week 9 against North White. So here in the next few weeks, you're going to be my best friend, buddy.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. You have a great weekend, okay?
All right. Thank you. You too.
All right, that's head coach Marc Hall of the West Central Trojans here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back. It's time to talk North Judson-San Pierre football with head coach Brett Lambert. You know him. We'll be back after this. Miles McLaughlin taking the snap under center, rolls out. He's got a lot of space, tripped up at about the 5-yard line before he's brought down at the 3. So Miles McLaughlin is finding ways to get through this Blue Jay defense, Chris.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Back at Liberty Field, Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowan. We go to the fourth quarter, 0-0 against the Winamac Warriors. As the Warriors have ball this possession here with 3rd and 15. They're going to have to make a play here. Stepping back, looking to throw. It's Max Gearhart. He does. Over to the right side. It's intercepted by Cole Wilcox. He retreats back to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. He's still on his feet, and he's going to get the touchdown. A pick 6 for Cole Wilcox. And that's how the Blue Jays get on the board. We've got a Warrior injured on the field, and Chris has just joined me in the booth.
Let me catch my breath.
Yeah. From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. Chris was heading up from the sideline, and he joined me right when that pick 6 happened last night. But
And this fat boy can't move like he used to, that's for sure.
Well, I didn't say it, you did. The North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, man, they were in a battle last night. We've heard Chris talk about it over the last couple of years I've been here. The Winamac-North Judson rivalry's legit. Well, we believe it now. Last night was a test for the Blue Jays, and it was a test for the Warriors just as equally. We have with us head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, Brett Lambert, coming off that win, 21-8. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing all right.
Well, let's talk about last night. I know it probably wasn't the game you had hoped to see, but a win's a win at the end of the day, and it's a W in the column. You move forward, I know, but we'll also want to talk about last week a little bit, too. I want to cover some bases here, but let's first talk about last night. Let's talk about that win and what you saw and what you're hopeful that you can kind of get your boys in gear going forward.
Well, I mean, and you said it, a win's a win, especially in a rivalry game. I think, sometimes, and myself included as much as anybody in this, we saw some of the stuff that happened last year, and all the success we had, and a lot of these games were easy, but so we get a little spoiled maybe as coaches and players and fans. But at the end of the day, when you can get that W, you got to be pleased. And like last night, we had, I thought, 2 defenses that played very well on both sides of the ball. Danny McGowan, our D coordinator, he's done really a great job all year. And if I looked at the stats right, I think we held Winamac to under 100 yards of total offense. And then Coach Burgess, had their guys ready to go. And they came out on a defense that, it's not that they haven't done it before in the past years, but we didn't really expect it, I'll be honest. So they came out in something a little bit different that we didn't really practice against during the week, and we probably should have, because we should be going against everything. Because we always, with our offense, it seems like we always see a different defense. But, we were trying to go back to basics this week and going over what we thought they were going to do. Well, that wasn't what came out. So then, I think some of the kids got a little flustered. Us coaches like, they're just running this defense. We'll be fine. But to get that to the players, that wasn't quite translating. So it just seemed like all night, I thought like I said, we were tuned in on defense. I felt like Winamac was tuned in on defense, but it seemed like, we would have 9 or 10 guys doing something correct on offense, and it was never the same 9 or 10 guys. So it wasn't like it was just 1 or 2 guys that were killing us. It was like we'd have 9 guys on one play, get it right, 10 on another, but you got to have 11. It takes 11 guys to be in sync with each other, and we just were not. And it was evident, throughout the game. Like we'd take 2 good plays, and then we'd take a step backward and mess something up. So that's definitely frustrating. But, after 5 weeks now as coaches, it's kind of like, okay, we've seen what we can do and what we can do well, but we've also seen what we don't do very well. So maybe it's time to, and in some respects, not do the things that we don't do well and really get better at things we do well.
Yeah.
You got to really look in the mirror and say, okay, this worked well last year and the year before. This group isn't going to run maybe this play necessarily like the other groups. So we can try to keep putting a square peg into a round hole, or we can just get good at other stuff. And I think that's where we're going to be headed here. So I'm not by any means panicking. We got a victory. We beat Winamac. I think we're going to be all right. But I just feel like, as we move forward, we just need to concentrate on the things that we do well. And again, I think we got a team that defensively can win games in the playoffs. Offensively, I do too. I just think we need to make some adjustments.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the adjustment you guys made last night in that fourth quarter was, you just started to see a lot more midline. Winamac was doing. They were doing a good job with their outside linebackers. They brought them up, put them on the end of the line, stand-up ends, and they were just doing a good job of just crashing upfield
and blitzing their inside backers.
It was blitzkrieg last night, really. And but you started to get more confident in the blocking scheme, especially on the midline, and it just became a two-headed monster there in the fourth quarter with Brock and Josiah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and give Winamac credit. We have bigger guys than them. We do. I feel like we're a stronger football team. I don't think anybody would argue about that. But they knew if they blitz backers and they try to take out ankles and get on legs, it gets a little bit harder for that strength to be apparent. And they did a good job with that. And we couldn't. I felt like the flats was open. We had things. They had weaknesses in the defense, but we were not exploiting those weaknesses like we should have for various reasons. And we have to be able to take what the defense is giving us, and we just didn't. But moving forward, I think that's one of those things. And again, it goes back to Josiah being a 5th game at quarterback, and right. He's going to get progressively better. And then having guys in different positions, like offensive line from last year, only David Brown's in the same position at right tackle. So they're just trying to adjust to what they're doing. Trey McGowan played receiver last year. So I'm not trying to make complete excuses, but now like Trey's a running back. I mean it's just a lot of guys. Even though we got guys back from last year, they're not in the same spot. So this is a learning curve. And and every time we see a different defense and what they're doing, like what Winamac did, that's one more thing that it's going to make us better in the long run. But in the moment, there can be some hiccups.
Well, because you're starting to think, and when you think, that slows you down, and all that, all the coaching cliches. But exactly, you want to play loose, you want to play free, you want to play fast. But when you have to stop and think about, he's not where he was at all week in practice. So now what do I do?
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to keep my cool with these guys, but I'll just at halftime I probably didn't make any sense and just lost it, and it was all.
I've been there,
and it's just I felt like mentally we were getting beaten that game. It was just mentally Winamac was into it, and we were just, not doing anything like the way it should have been done and not executing. And again, it's not a physical thing. And this goes back to Knox and CMA, 2 games that we lost. We were hanging in there. We're playing tough.
Yeah, had to lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, led in both games, could have won both. We could be 5-0 right now. It's possible. But of course, Winamac could have beat us. Could be also could be the opposite. But I mean, it's just so I don't feel like we got a bunch of guys who are cowards and we're not tough. That's not it. But we got to put the mental part together because that's what's really hurting us the most right now. Those mental letdowns. But again, getting back to the game, I mean, as much as we struggled offensively at times, again, defense got it done. Wilcox gets that pick 6. You're feeling good about that. Then what happens? Winamac returns the next kickoff. They return for a touchdown. I mean, it's just like, holy cow.
And get the 2-point conversion.
We didn't convert the extra point, so now we're down. It's like, how is this happening? But then I felt like the offense responded very well, and we took the ball, down the field, got a couple scores, and then put the game away. But yeah, it's just one of those games. But again, defensively, just to mention some of these guys. I mean, like Cozy Carr up front on the D line. Just he's a horse out there. I think every coach would admit he's a handful, and I think they usually do after games. David Brown, Grayson McDaniel, Hunter Redlin got it done. Just to go through them all. I mean, Brock Benson's been doing a good job at linebacker with Wilcox and Sam Hollum, Trey McGowan, Josiah McDaniel at safety, and then Frazier and Noah Radtke at corners. I mean, they've been really getting it done this year, and again, our offense has been good as well, but just wasn't as good as it could have been last night.
Well, I named the defense the Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game last night.
Well deserved, yes. Yeah, good choice.
One thing you had said to me throughout the week I thought was interesting was that you'd washed out the semi-state hangover, and we were talking in the post game last night. They may have been a little tired. Were they a little worn out last night, in your opinion, coming off that Knox game last week?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you. We don't quite have the depth that we had last year. Last year we had a lot of guys depth-wise that we could play, and we're trying to get guys to step up this year and add depth. But I mean, part of that's just been you got to be there. Some of these guys you're sick, once a week and missing practice, and we can't count on you. We can't count on people who aren't there. So that's putting probably more of a burden on our starters. Again, we lost some good seniors last year. Then, Connor Benson, somebody who, we really thought could, be part of that backfield rotation. He would have been a 3-year starter on defense, but now he's just kicking because he, has some upper body issues. I don't like to get specific on injuries, but it's nothing wrong, that he's done wrong, but just, he can't get it done. So he's been injured. That's somebody we count on. CJ Sanchez. There's not one team on our schedule that has a guy that looks like CJ Sanchez. I'm not putting other guys down. He's just darn good.
He's a big boy.
But he's not back yet. So, he's been, limited in practice. We're just kind of waiting on that final clearance from, the doctor. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can have CJ back. You got a guy 6'4", 240 who can play basketball and benches 340 pounds, and he's not out there for a 1A football team. You kind of feel that. And we got a couple other guys who just for whatever reason didn't come back to the football program. So we're in a spot where we have a good football team. There's no doubt about it. But it's a different football team. That's, as coaches, we're just trying to find the combinations that work, and then work with some new guys, new positions. And I talked to Aldrich Harper's a quarterback last 2 years, and I was talking to his dad this past weekend. And Aldrich, his first year as a starter, he struggled those first 5-6 games. But then once he found that rhythm, we started rolling. And it wasn't just all on him, don't get me wrong, but, once you can find that rhythm with an offense and find out who you are, you're going to be all right. But we just haven't found that yet. And, again, in that year, we end up, went to our first semi-state of the two. So we got time to get this, righted. But there's other teams in our sectional who, they're salivating, they're ready to knock us off. That's for sure. So we got to, in these next 4 weeks, find what we're good at and get better at it and be ready to get it done come playoff time.
Last week I told Chris, I know it didn't go the Blue Jays' way against Knox, but that was one of the most exciting football games. It probably was the most exciting football game I've ever broadcast. I've never had this many highlights from one single game. I mean, it just was a back and forth. You talk about a heavyweight bout. I mean, it just seemed like once one team punched in the Redskins, the Blue Jays were punching back. I know it didn't go your way, but can you dive in a little bit with us about what you thought about that game?
Well, I know going into that game, I always send some text messages or emails with a friend of mine from high school, and I told him, I said, well, this game could come down to 2-point conversions, and we didn't convert, and Knox did, and it really, that was it. I mean, we each had, my memory is correct, I know this was last week, but we both had 3 scores, right? But they had the conversions, we didn't, and that's ultimately, amongst other things, what the difference was. But yeah, that was as a fan, if you just came as a fan, not of either team, just to come watch a football game, you probably got your money's worth. And for us, we had a lead in the fourth quarter, and again, we didn't execute some things probably the way we should have and end up, losing the game. But Knox is a really good football team. And I don't know when we would see a team that good, come playoff time. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where like Pioneer and Triton quite line up. We'll find out here in the next few weeks. But we've competed well, and again, it didn't go our way. Yeah. And I never like that. I don't want to lose to Knox, just like they don't want to lose to North Judson. But it was definitely a fun game for the fans, and I'm sure last night as frustrating as that felt for me, I'm sure there could be some fans who just like to watch defense. Like, yeah, that was an awesome game.
And this was his type of game. He said, this is what I want, a knockdown, drag-out fight.
I want to see 2 heavyweights just throwing bombs at each other.
Yeah, and going back to the Winamac-Judson rivalry, heck, when I was in school, I remember my senior year, we lost on, I want to say it was senior night to Winamac 7-0, and then we came back and got them in the playoffs, and it was 14-13. And those are just kind of the games I remember from Judson Winamac, and Coach Burgess was part of some of those games as well. And again, do I feel great about how we played last night? No, not for a second. But again, Coach Burgess did a fantastic job, got their guys ready, and that's football. You don't play the game through Sagarin. You play the game on the field.
Absolutely.
But I think you go back to the mental aspect of it. I mean, yeah, you guys, it's a different ball club last year. You guys, you stepped out of the field. You expected to win. And more times than not, that's what happened. I think this team has that mentality. They expect to win, but they don't understand that, hey, now you're getting everybody's best shot. They're coming. You have a bullseye on your back. You just can't show up and expect to just dominate like you have in years past. You got to go out and you actually got to perform.
Well, yeah, and I talked about that after the game. CMA beats us, and you would have thought, in some respects, they won the Super Bowl because we've been that good, and they should beat us. They're a 4A team, right. But and that's not putting them down, but we've built up a little bit of a reputation.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Winamac's like, hey, we could knock off North Judson. Not just a rivalry, but a team that's had success the past couple of years. This would be a huge win for us. And I'm trying to let our guys know that you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Yeah.
And then we got games coming up. South Central could be a sectional opponent.
Right.
I mean, South Central's playing better right now. So now they're thinking, well, heck, we can beat these guys, and they should think that. We got Triton coming up, eventually, who's going to be a sectional opponent. We got Pioneer coming up. That's a sectional opponent. So 3 of our next 4 games are teams that we could see again. So our guys better realize, whatever happened last year, that was last year. You better make your own, identity this year and create your own destiny and don't just put it on the past. And again, there's no doom and gloom for me. We're right back at work. I'll be in the coach's office here in about 25 minutes, sitting down with the coaches, figuring out how we're gonna beat South Central, and then we'll move on next week and do the same thing after that. But that's where we're at right now.
What do you know about the Satellites?
I've just seen a little bit. Okay, so I don't know a ton. Again, we haven't played them in the past, but they definitely spread the ball out. I mean, you can see that offensively, and they're going to go twins to both sides, and so that's something that looks like defensively they got some athletic looking kids out there. They're going to get after it. So yeah, it's going to be a great challenge, and I think it's kind of cool that we're playing them. They're just about 20 miles away. It's a school that we haven't played much in football, so I think it's going to be kind of a nice thing, and maybe we can get a little rivalry going with them. But I'd like to win in that rivalry, but let's try to get a rivalry going there.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in today. Thank you so much. It means a lot, and good luck this coming week against the Satellites of South Central.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that is head coach Brett Lambert of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays coming off their big win over the Winamac Warriors 21-8 last night. We're going to talk Knox Redskin football. The Redskins are undefeated. Head coach, you know him, Russ Radtke. He's in the lobby enjoying some donuts. Taking a break after this. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. Ball on the Warriors' 18-yard line. Josiah McDaniel takes the snap. It's a quarterback keep up the middle. Now he's going to wake his way around, and he's going to get the touchdown. Josiah McDaniel, another North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay touchdown.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
The Saturday Sports Line continues with Kankakee Valley area coaches and special guests. Here's Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
Takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his right. He's running immediately. Gets to the 40, around the corner, now to the 50, now to the 45, 40, now to the 35, 30 before he's tackled out of bounds by number 20, Noah Radtke, the senior. Big time run by Miles McLaughlin and a huge first down for them. From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowan. We've got head coach Russ Radtke in the house to talk Knox Redskin football. They are 5-0 right now, cruising along as they beat John Glenn last night, 37-8. They're coming off their week win last week against the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, 22-8. Coach, let's start there. Talk about that big-time Blue Jay win, or the big win over the Blue Jays last week.
I get mixed up sometimes. I look at the things too. I think I keep going, how can in the world we have only had this? And then somebody says, hey, we're Knox, not Judson. So the situation here is that it was a great game. I mean, I would have liked to have had a few more opportunities at scores when we did get in the red zone 3 times to score 3 times. And our defense played fantastic throughout the entire night. But the 4th down situations caused us a problem, and they ran a couple good plays that we were negligent on setting up for crossing patterns and so forth. And we adjusted to that this week and did it quite well. So you learn from your mistakes, and your opponent only makes you better for the next week.
Did that win last week over the Blue Jays maybe prepare you guys even to play better the following week?
Well, it's a totally, this week we came out with almost a 65-page scouting report because of the many different formations and setups that John Glenn gives you, all right? North Judson Knox is just smash mouth football coming at each other, and who's going to be able to execute the fourth down situations. Last week, North Judson was able to get 3 out of 5 fourth down conversions. And that's a big difference in the fact, they were only 1 for 9 on third down, but hey, on fourth down, and they were able to execute plays and get good big situations that hurt us bad. And I think one of those actually ended up in a touchdown right before the first half. So overall, it was good aggressiveness on both part. I think the sacks by us might have been a difference because we were able to get 2 sacks in the ball game that converted the ball back to us. That gave us field positions that were quite important.
I was listening to the Saturday morning coaches show on our brother station, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WYMR, with the boss Tony Ross on Max 98.3 FM. John Barron said they ran into a buzzsaw last night in the Knox Redskins. That's exactly what he said, and that's how he feels this morning. What would you say?
Well, again, it's a total adjustment. And I got to give it to our coaching staff with Coach Julio and Coach Marsh, how they're able to readjust. But then our offensive coaches come up with a scheme that, we had 414 yards rushing last night. And you can convert that and get 7 out of 10 third down situations to our advantage. And we held Glenn 0 for 8. You like being a buzzsaw? Well, I would say that as long as OSHA's approved the process of the antique system that is out there, you definitely create situations. And, I think at one point it was 30-0 in the first half. And that was, again, because of the adjustments that are being done. Jane Strong had a great individual situation. We like to play a lot of zone defense in our secondary, but last night he got caught isolated one-on-one out there on the outside, and he was able to pick a interception off and get it in the 35-yard return. So those type of things are fantastic. And we had one of our Mike linebackers. First thing is homecoming. It's total chaos. More than last week. I mean, last week's frenzy was crazy. I'm talking about the whole week ahead of time.
I've been a part of the homecoming at Knox, having been the former head coach there. The festivities that go on all week, and then the parade on Friday afternoon. There's so much going on.
And then our Mike linebacker, Reisner, went home and got sick. I ended up with high temperatures and so forth. Mom called and said, "What do we do?" I said, "Well, keep him at home. Don't bring that temperature in here. I'm hot enough as it is." So we were able to adjust the defense in pregame to where you moved 2 people and brought a sophomore in, Keegan Everidge, 33, that played the entire game on defense and basically only messed up 1 or 2 times, but did a great job of setting in. And then, you got to adjust somebody else in there. We moved Logan Taylor into the Mike linebacker, and moving into Mike linebacker, he led us with 9 tackles and 3 assists. So it's that type of adjustment. Good football, everybody working together. That did a great job. And then, of course, our offensive line is really coming on. Like, Coach had stated earlier, Hayden Smith played center for us on the offensive line because the center that was supposed to be playing got sick that week. So there's another one against North Judson that we were without a starter, and another guy comes in off the bench and does a great job. Now, last night, Tucker Burns was back, and he got back in. And with him and Landon Howard and Isaiah Jones and Keyston Dixon, another sophomore, and Easton Minix, another sophomore, and Caleb Schwant, who's able to anytime you can get that much yardage on John Glenn, 414 yards, 22 first downs, and 51 plays to 21. They threw it 31 times. Here we go again. The game lasted 2 hours and 50 minutes. 2 hours and 50 minutes, all because of that lapse time and that difference in between. So it definitely can it increased the concession stand sales, and everybody's having fun, I'm sure, okay? But that's a long football game.
Was the Nelson's Chicken Pit there last night, too?
No, I didn't see it at all, but I noticed that the kids were everywhere, and there's a lot of young kids that are coming out and watching, so forth, the game itself. They try to get off and play another football game off on the side, but our administration's always after them. And they're like anything else, we'll move to another field.
Yeah.
And then it's this location, different directions. But everybody's having fun right now, and I really have to give it to a lot of young men that are able to adjust and listen to come on a great job because, you got Jake that had a great job of offense last night, along with McLaughlin with 228, Jake 124, and Jordan with 62. And that's what that offensive line loves, when you can see them coming out of the huddle and they know what we're going to do and how we're going to try to get it done. It usually works out to an advantage.
And I was going to make the comment, to be able to make those adjustments in the pregame, that tells you that your kids throughout the week, they may not think they're going to be playing, but they're paying attention because they know the game plan and they're able to execute it. I mean, you make those kind of adjustments in a pregame before a big game, and your kids go out and perform that way. That tells me that they've bought in.
Yeah, the secretary always asks, well, how many of these you want run off? I said 27. She goes, 27 times 64 pages? Yep, start running it right now. Put a little bit more ink in it, but you never know more in football than one play away.
Right.
Because somebody could lose a helmet. Right. Someone could get sick out there, tired, got cramps on a 2 hour and 50-minute game. So all those things play in. We also had a sophomore that came in, Hunter Anderson, that played defensive end for Minix a little while. So you put all those things together, and then Bryce Yanka Hasa-Akas. Is that close? You're a Knox guy.
Yankowskis.
We just call him Robot because he's a very important part. He takes robotic classes and so forth, and his family travels throughout the nation with those robot boxers and so forth. Well, anyway, he got his first opportunity to play last night. He's under suspension for a while. And so now he came in and was able to do some things for us in that second half, and he's another good football player for us in the future.
Now, I do want to go back to the Judson game, and I want to get you on record here because we're going to play the clip probably here in a little bit. But there was a sequence of events on one play.
You want me to play it right now?
No, you don't have to right now, but just one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in a high school football game. And what made it so interesting was the fact that you could see on that play how bad both teams wanted it. You want to go ahead and play it?
Yeah,
go ahead and play it.
Let's go ahead and play this. Josiah McDaniel under center, sets Trey McGowan in motion, fakes the handoff. It's fumble on the play. Here come the Redskins. They pick it up. Now they're going to get to the 40. Josiah McDaniel's trying to track him down, and he is going to bring. He took it back. Oh my goodness! Josiah McDaniel just took it back. Now he's crossing the 45, and he's tackled at the 46. So Josiah McDaniel didn't try to tackle. He wanted to strip the ball.
Unbelievable play there by Josiah McDaniel, and here's the other thing on this. Because of the change of possession, and then the possession changed back.
They get a first and 10. Would you want it any other way, folks? The historic rivalry between the Knox Redskins and the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays. Yeah, what a great play that was.
Now, what you didn't hear on that play was the fact that after watching it back on film, when Josiah McDaniel strips the ball back from Logan Taylor, Conroy is right there at that point. Jake Conroy is right there at that point. He gets knocked on the ground, but gets back up, and he's the one that makes a game-saving, touchdown-saving tackle on Josiah McDaniel. He gets up and is shot out of a cannon and tracks Josiah McDaniel down to make the tackle. It was just unbelievable.
Do you remember that play, Coach?
Well, if Jake wouldn't have got him, I'd have got him. Because I saw it coming. I was trying to get the rest of our players, because sometimes what can happen, and we work on this in practice so much, that when a play takes place, don't think that it's over offensively or defensively from your side of the ball. I think a few of our guys had already felt that
I thought Logan Taylor was going to take it to the house.
Or he was going to go out of bounds.
Right.
Go down right there. And so a lot of times you turn and start rocking off or not realizing, all of a sudden here comes that ball back across the field the opposite way. You have to continue the play until a whistle to find out where it's going to happen. And thank goodness there's a couple good guys that were running in that direction going back. And Jake is he's our free safety.
He's a heck of a player.
And he was able to come back from the free safety position, realizing that what had happened. I mean, even then, Logan's a pretty good player, 24. He's looking at what happened to the ball? I don't even have it anymore.
Yeah.
So those type of things are in high school athletics. Now, you get into junior high or Pop Warner, that'll score a touchdown every time. There's no doubt. Okay?
Right.
But it's how you got to follow through, stay in your areas, and do a good job. It was good football. There's no doubt McDaniel did a great job pursuing at that point, not just taking it down. And you work on those things, strip drills.
Right.
You really work on punching the ball through and so forth, and making sure that you try to create a turnover when a turnover takes place, because that's a big play. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you've got LaVille coming up next week. What do you know about the Lancers?
Right now, I just know that last year they beat us on a 2-point conversion and we were going for the win. The year before, they beat us on a 2-point conversion and we were going for the win. And this is good football, and it's a good test for us that we'll be working forward to and having an opportunity to play football. We're going on the road now. Three out of the next four are on the road, and we have to be up for it in all aspects. I just hope health-wise and conditioning gets us ready for that situation, that we can bring out everybody to the table and offer a lot of situations that create. The offensive coaches kind of get frustrated sometimes because you're getting 414 yards of total offense, and a lot of that's on the ground, but they like to run other plays, do other things. We got to make sure those are clicking and so forth, so that if the thing that's working, we don't go away from it, but the thing that's going to have to work in big games, we're going to have to execute, because last night, again, we got wide open receivers that are going to be opportunists because of the defense they're playing at that time. The audible's called, and we either overthrow it or we drop a wide open pass. So that's the type of execution you got to have. You got to have those things when it's going to happen.
Well, and I want to set the stage here. Just like the Knox Redskins, the LaVille Lancers are undefeated here after 5 weeks. So we're going to have two undefeated teams go up against each other. And it's going to be a tough test on the road. What's your message to the boys this week? What are you going to be preaching to them?
Well, I'm sure we're their homecoming, because they've been on the road for quite a while. So we're going to be up there at their homecoming and
try to spoil it.
Just try to make sure that both teams could not be their own worst enemy. That would be the only thing. We just got to do whatever we're at right now, keep working to improve and make things better, readjust our defenses and so forth. I mean, they have a quarterback that's they had a guy last night at Caston, I believe, tried a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And he just missed it off to the right. He's preseason all-state punter. Well, he's quite an athlete, too. He's also their quarterback. So he's been able to do some things that are quite exciting in the last couple of years, and he'll be a big part of their football that they've been doing. I haven't looked at much film to see anything on that direction yet, but hopefully our community and our people get up there and enjoy this ball game and have a good. It's going to be at 6:30 Central Standard Time, and we're really looking for that opportunity.
And the winner's in the driver's seat of the HNAC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've got to play Pioneer yet, also too.
They've got one loss though. So, but the winner of Friday night gives yourself a pretty good chance of at least sharing the conference.
That's why you don't want to kiss your sister too often,
right? Exactly. Well, never mind.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, you could be a really hot stepsister, I guess.
Okay, all right. All right. that's life, That goes along, okay? But it's just the important part is you won't want to share a lot of things.
Right.
You want to make sure that you are playing for who you are and where you want to be.
And that's Billy Bob Thornton, by the way, from Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears,
just
the newer one.
Just say it.
Coach, I appreciate you coming in. Did you see my shirt today?
What we got? Oh, yeah. Rushville was able to get a big victory last night over Connorsville. It's fantastic because you're from that Rushville Lion area.
Yeah, War on 44.
And we used to be down there. I think there's a big trophy that's exchanged back and forth.
Yep, we got her back.
And I can remember, I think all the years we were there, we did a pretty good job against Rushville. But
I'm sure.
I remember we played the first Sunday game in the history of the IHSA because we played Rushville in a doubleheader at the Dome, and I think at about 12:30 a.m., because of the longevity of the game and overtime and a whole shot, we won that ball game. So,
wow,
being able to play in the Dome is exciting. And when we got that victory that year, it was very big. But Rushville, Connorsville is just like a North Judson Knox.
No way. That game last week was something special, Coach. It
was important for me when I was at Connorsville.
Well, yeah.
We looked at it that way, all right?
Sure. Yeah. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in.
All right,
it means
thanks
so
a lot.
much.
Appreciate it, everybody.
We'll see you next week. That's head coach Russ Radtke of the Knox Redskins here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. Time to talk Winamac Warrior football with head coach Josh Burgess. That's on the other side. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. McLaughlin from shotgun. He's going to keep it himself. Run out to the right. Trying to get around the corner. He dives, and he is going to get the 2-point conversion. Miles McLaughlin laid flat and dove for it all and made it happen. What a play for him.
Bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. Where he was born and raised.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Browns. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Now let's return to more of the Saturday Sports Line with WKVI Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
Kick returned by Addison Allen. He cuts through the 45-50. Oh my goodness. 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. It's a Winamac Warrior touchdown. Addison Allen. They matched it on the next play. Oh my goodness. From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, you know what it is, the Saturday Sports Line. What a play that was. Literally the pick six we heard earlier right before Brett Lambert went on. The next play where the Blue Jays kicked to the Warriors, Addison Allen took it to the house. Now remember, we were scoreless through 3 quarters in that game, and then all of a sudden the lid popped open. And I got to say, Coach, last night it was a different Winamac Warrior team than we saw in Week 1 against the Knox Redskins.
Yeah, we've talked about every week. We just try, week by week to consistently get a little bit better. And, saw some improvement last night, especially defensively. I thought it was a good team defensive effort. Everybody was kind of dialed in as far as what we needed to do to stop Judson in their offense. Obviously, too, we still have some things we need to work on. We got some offensive things to figure out. But I thought attitude-wise, effort-wise, our kids always play hard. They always do. But attitude-wise and just being in the game, we've talked a lot about, hey, you can't be in the game for half a quarter or for just a quarter or for a half or 3 quarters. You got to be in it for 48 minutes. And, we're not quite there yet, but I think we took some steps last night.
After the game, I was talking to the coaching staff from North Judson, with my brother being the defense coordinator and all that. And I told them last night, I said, I'll be honest with you. I said, that game wasn't won on the field last night. I said, that game, it's no knock against the Winamac Warriors, but that game, I think, was won in the summertime in the weight room. Because that fourth quarter, they finally were able to wear you guys down a little bit. But what I want to ask you, have you found something that you like now in playing that 3-4 defense? Because that was something that was not expected last night. You guys are usually a 4-man front defensively, and you come out and you play the 3-4, and you walk your outside linebackers up, and you stand them up on the ends, and you crash. Is that something? And you brought a lot of pressure last night. Is that something that we could see going forward here quite a bit from the Winamac Warriors?
Yeah, defensively, we always we try to be very multiple. And again, we're a 4-front team. We're a 4-3 team, but we knew kind of watching film, last week and last weekend, and just thinking about some things. We had to do a couple different things to put us in position and get our kids in position to make plays. So, we've played some 5-front and some, almost looks like walk-up 3-4 before. Right. We just don't do it consistently. So, hey, going forward, we'll look week to week, but obviously that's something that our kids did pretty well last night. And, with our personnel, we're kind of able to bounce back and forth between the 4 and the 5 front. So that gives us a little more flexibility, and I think our kids handled that pretty well last night.
I think your kids were enjoying the fact that it allowed them to fly around. Like I said, you were blitzing on just about every play, and that makes the game fun.
Yeah,
when you can fly around like that and just wreak havoc and just with reckless abandon. I mean, you're not really thinking, I know I got to run through this gap, and so that's where I'm going, and I'm going to go as hard as I can.
Yeah, we want to try to take the thinking out of it. You know how that goes. You know, if kids are sitting around thinking, hey, what do I do? What's my assignment on this play? And, obviously we're still playing assignment football defensively, but, trying just to simplify things a little bit and letting the kids play fast. And I thought they did a pretty good job of that last night.
Well, and you guys had talked at halftime, and like Coach – or – well, you are a coach.
Yeah.
Like Chris said, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm getting jumbled. But like he said, if you were told at the beginning of the game it'd be 0-0 at halftime and you get the ball to start the third, he said you'd probably take that, and you agreed with that. And then not only that, you guys come out in the third quarter and you continue what you did in the first half. It was just a back and forth affair there. What were some of the things that you heard on the sideline? What were some of the things that you and your coaching staff were kind of telling the kids? Because like I talked to you before we went on the air here just a minute ago, it seemed that the energy was at an all-time high. It seemed like every play, the players were hanging on everything. They'd pump up the sideline and get everything going. It just seemed like the energy was there.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I think physically we've got some physical tools. I mean, we do. But sometimes it's the mental aspect, and the mental aspect is more important a lot of times than the physical aspect. So, again, I think some things are starting to click for us. It's taking a little bit longer than what we like, but we're making progress in that. So I thought the kids mentally from the start were in the game, and they were able to stay in the game, and give North Judson a lot of credit. I thought defensively they played outstanding. We couldn't get anything going offensively hardly at all. We had some opportunities. Defensively, our defense put us in some positions a couple times to get some scores, and we did some things here and there offensively as well. You kind of said fourth quarter too. I knew after that kickoff return and that the 2-point conversion, I just thought, hey, we're just hanging on. We've got to find some way to hang on and give Judson credit. They got it done in the last part of the fourth quarter, and we didn't. So, message after the game, I was very proud of the effort that our kids put in, but still not happy with the outcome. We're coming in, hey, we expect to win this game, and we want to win this game, and that's ultimately what you're trying to do every week that you step out on the field. So, we still have some things that we need to work on to put a full 48 minutes together.
Well, I'm looking at this, and your schedule is going to change next year with the shakeup in the conference. But okay, so your first 5 games: Knox, Pioneer, North White, LaVille, North Judson. That's not fun at any time or any level. But then you also look at 4 of the first 5 games you played on the road. That's not good.
Yeah, our schedule's front and heavy, and that's nothing against any of the teams on the back end. There's not an easy game in our conference.
Right.
You look at Culver, who we're going to play next week. They're going to do everything they can to get a win, and they've done some nice things. I haven't watched a lot of film on them, but they've got some kids that can play, and they're very capable with what they do. West Central's obviously off to a good start. You talk about Caston, who's much improved, and then finishing up with Triton. So, not saying that the back end of our schedule is easy.
No.
But at least you got 3 of the 4.
We've got some at
home.
home. Yes. We finally can get back home a little bit and get to that back part of our schedule. So again, we can't expect to just show up and beat anybody, obviously, with where we're at right now. And I told the kids last night too, hey, you can feel good about your effort, but if you don't continue to improve from this point forward, the effort we gave last night really doesn't mean a whole lot as we go forward, because again, Culver's same spot we are. They're looking to come in and probably expecting to beat us. Hey, we're both 0-5, and they need to get a win, and so do we. So it's going to be a tough test for us this week to continue to prepare and continue to take the right steps that we need to.
Head coach Brett Lambert had mentioned this earlier in the broadcast that they tried to go for 2 last night. They weren't able to get it. You guys were able to get the 2-point conversion. That was able to take the lead even more. You went up 8-6. Talk about that moment, deciding to go for 2, and when you did get it, what it felt like for the whole team.
Yeah, obviously we haven't scored as many points as what we want to, but kicking wise, we don't really have. We got a couple of kids that can kick and are capable, but just in that instant, hey, we came to win last night.
Yeah.
So, the 2-point conversion play was the best play for us to try to get that done. So that was an easy decision. Brandon called a nice play, and the kids executed. So,
and one thing that Brett said, I just realized I should have put 2 and 2 together, was you were on the Winamac team and he was on the North Judson team, and you guys had played against each other in high school.
Well, no, I think he caught my brother Brandon
right
on the end of it. I'm just slightly older than what he is, but no, we all of us, on both coaching staffs have been involved in this rivalry forever, and it's an important game to each of our programs. So, again, you talk about some of the other games we have on our schedule. This is one that we always kind of look to, and throw the records out the window. It doesn't matter if both teams are 4-0 and 4 going in. It's going to be physical. The kids are going to be excited to play in it, and I think that showed last night.
We see who you guys took on last week, the LaVille Lancers. Is there anything you can share with the Knox Redskin fans and head coach Russ Radtke that you saw out of the Lancers last week?
They're really solid. Their quarterback, the Plummer kid, is outstanding. He runs their offense very well. He's a phenomenal weapon in the kicking game, and I don't think sometimes people understand what a weapon that is, especially on the kickoff team. He consistently puts those balls in the end zone, and you're forcing teams to go 80 yards, and that's not an easy thing to do, to put an 80-yard drive together consistently. And they've got nice pieces around him too. They've got nice skill kids. Defensively, they're really solid. I thought, despite our score last week, just talk about that for a second, I thought we made some progress there too. You wouldn't think, giving up 38 points, we made defensive progress, but we asked our kids to do some different things, formation recognition wise, and get into some things. And after the first quarter, I thought we settled in and did that pretty well. So, they've got a nice team. That's going to be a heck of a battle next week, because obviously Knox has got a nice team too with plenty of athletes, and so does LaVille. So, if you're a high school football fan, that's going to be a game.
Well, we talk about this coming week now. You're preparing for the Culver Cavaliers at home. What are you going to be working on with the boys this week?
Again, just working on us with our mental approach, and just consistently getting better. Culver brings some things to the table. Obviously, Coach Foust, but Culver traditionally, they're not going to have a ton of kids out, but the kids they have always play hard. And I know the last couple games the scores were a little lopsided, but I know the first half especially, they were in both those games and competing hard. So, we've got to be ready to match what they're going to bring. Both teams are looking for that first win. So it's going to be physical. It's going to be intense. We also have our homecoming this week, which as a coach,
nice.
The homecoming stuff always makes me a little nervous.
As a coach, you hate it. I hate,
Yeah.
I'll say it because I don't coach football anymore. But as a football coach, you hate homecoming.
Yeah, it's good for the kids.
I'm not gonna lie,
they enjoy it, but at the same time, we've got a job to do.
Right.
And our ultimate goal that's going to make homecoming the best for us is to go out and win that game.
Win the game.
Yeah. So you can throw all the other stuff out and hey, enjoy it, be smart with it. But the bottom line, the homecoming game is for the football team.
Yeah.
It's for the football team to get a win. So that's what we're going to look for. But we've got some things obviously we need to continue to look at and continue to improve on, and we're going to keep doing that as we go forward.
Well, we're going to be there for you. We're going live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central to see the Winamac Warriors host the Culver Cavaliers. Coach, I appreciate you coming in. Hey, it didn't go your way last night, but there is some improvement, and you guys have positive things to move forward. We're hopeful to see, we're excited to see you guys this coming week.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you guys.
Of course, that's head coach Josh Burgess of the Winamac Warriors here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to talk our athlete of the week from last week, Giselle Villegas, the soccer star from Culver. Yeah, Culver Community. That's coming up next after the break. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Winamac lined up to go for two here.
They are. Under center, Max Gearhart. Hands off, up the middle. It's Maddox Busitsky.
And he's in.
And he's in. He gets the 2-point conversion. It's now 8-6. The Winamac Warriors just take the lead here at Liberty Field.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
We are back for more from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. It's time to transition and talk about our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week from last week. Of course, we weren't able to hear Giselle Villegas' interview, and that's who exactly was our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week last week. Had a chance to sit down and talk with her. At the time, she was on the cusp of getting her 100th career goal there at Culver. She talks about her career and also her teammates. Hey, not only is she the leading scorer on this team, she is leading this team in assists, helping her teammates score just as much. Without further ado, here's my sit-down interview with Culver Lady Cavalier soccer star, Giselle Villegas.
All right, I'm here with Giselle Villegas, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week once again this year. You were our third Athlete of the Week last year. Now you're our third Athlete of the Week again this year. Congratulations, Giselle. We've talked a lot about you throughout the weeks on the sports checks. We know about you. We know the scoring that you are capable of. Just tell us what it is about this sport, soccer, that makes you get out there and score that many goals.
I don't know. It's just my main sport. Like, I grew up playing it since I was young, and it's like my happy place mainly.
Well, let's talk about this team. We talked a little bit last year about some seniors that you were going to be saying goodbye to. Now this year, you're the senior. You're the main leader on this team, one of the main leaders on this team. Talk about what this season has meant to you in comparison to last season as a junior.
Since I'm a senior this year, I just want to leave the field and leave the school with goals, completing all my goals and everything, and making sure that I leave all my teammates with an opportunity and everything.
Well, let's talk about some of these teammates. Who out there on the field can you rely upon? Who do you know is going to have your back each game?
Cassidy Banks, Maddie Hamilton, and just my defenders and Caity Scouten.
Yeah, well, and talk about what this team's goals were this year. What were the goals set by Coach Neese, or maybe you being a senior leader on this team? What are the goals for this team?
To win all of our games and then winning sectionals, going out, playing together, communicating, and just winning sectionals.
Well, and then let's talk about this coaching staff. What is it about Coach Neese what does he bring to the table that you as a leading senior on this team appreciate?
He pushes us and makes sure we play to our potential, and he's just a father figure to us. So he would understand if we're going through stuff and just talk to us. And yeah.
Tell us your parents' names.
My mom is Sandra Villegas, and my dad is Sergio Villegas.
Talk about the support system from your family.
They support me a lot. They make sure I push myself, but not too hard. And I don't know, they're always there for me.
Well, like I said in the beginning, we are on the cusp of potentially getting that 100th career goal here this afternoon as we speak. You say it's happening. What makes you so sure that you're going to go out there and make that happen?
Well, I just know it's going to happen because it's Couts. And I just have faith in myself and my team.
Well, and then on top of that, you lead this team in assists. Not only are you scoring the most, you're also helping your teammates score. What's that feeling like when you're able to assist a teammate to score a goal?
It makes me really happy to see them score their goal, and I just want them to have what I have, have that feeling of scoring, and yeah.
What's the future, Giselle Villegas? Do you have a plan after high school?
Going to college, hopefully play in college, and I want to go into like graphic designing and stuff.
Talk about what schools you're looking at. Have you narrowed it down?
I'm thinking of IUSB, Manchester, or IU and Kokomo, and maybe Ball State. Who knows?
Are you hopeful for a scholarship potentially?
Oh, yes.
And if you were given an opportunity to play soccer at the next level, what would that mean to you?
It'd mean like a lot to me. Like, since I was little, I just wanted to play soccer and just like, I don't know, just be out there.
What does it mean to Giselle Villegas to be a Culver Cavalier?
To be a Cavalier, it means like a whole lot. It like means like to like not give up and like push hard, since we're like a little small town and we just want to like be known.
You know, when I think of Culver Lady Cavalier soccer, since I've been here the last 2 years, the first person's name that pops up in my head is Giselle Villegas. Now that you're a senior, you look down the line and see the underclassmen. What kind of memory do you want them to have of you next year and the years after of what you've done here for the soccer program at Culver?
That you can just like reach your goals and you can work hard every day and make memories with your teammates and just work together, and anything's like possible.
Well, Giselle, congratulations. Thank you for your time today. Go get that 100th goal you promised me, and good luck in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, she kept her promise. Not only did she get the one goal she needed for the 100th career goal, she ended up getting 4 total that afternoon against Couts, as the final score was 5-1, the Lady Cavs victorious. Hey, I told you, Giselle Villegas is the real deal. deal. Big time thank you to Giselle for her time. Also want to shout out Athletic Director Mike Zahner for helping me set that interview up. As we are going to take a quick break and come back to talk about our current Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, Jake Conroy of the Knox Redskins. That's on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Miles McLaughlin under center. Takes the snap. Hands off to Jake Conroy. Fighting his way forward. And he gets the touchdown. It's a Knox Redskin touchdown. Jake Conroy. Another one to add to the resume. Takes the snap, looking to throw. Now he's going to run it himself. Moving up the middle, it's Josiah McDaniel still on his feet, and he's going to get the touchdown. Josiah McDaniel, a North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay touchdown. Big time
It's
play.
hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbi.
As we are in the fourth quarter, it's all or nothing right now. Josiah McDaniel from shotgun sets Cole Wilcox in motion, takes the snap, fake hands off to Brock Benson, now pitches out to Wilcox, who breaks a tackle, still on his feet. Now it takes 2, 3, 4 Knox Redskins to bring him down, and the D is there right now for the Redskins, Chris. Back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, we are talking about our current Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, and you know him. It's Jake Conroy of the Knox Redskins football team. Man, Jake is having an amazing season for the Redskins. He scored 38 points in the Redskins win over Culver in Week 3 with 5 touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions, and 2 extra points. He broke the longtime record of 36 points scored in a single game, previously held by Knox Hall of Famer Phil Owens. Here's my sit-down interview with junior Knox Redskin football player Jake Conroy.
All right, I'm here with Jake Conroy, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Man, Jake, it's been impressive to watch you play the last couple of years. In Week 3, you scored 38 points in your win over Culver with 5 touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions, and 2 extra points. You broke the longtime record of 36 points scored in a single game previously held by a Knox Hall of Famer, Phil Owens. First question, Jake, what is it about this sport, football, that you love?
You know, I've just loved it ever since I stepped on the field back in 6th grade. It was the first time I ever tried out football. I came in late into the season because all my friends were pushing me to do it. So against Culver, first time I ever touched the ball, I scored, and I've just loved it ever since.
Well, let's talk about this team. Well, first, let's ask you this. When you hear you've broken a Hall of Famer's record here at Knox, I mean, that's got to raise some eyebrows for you. What's that make you feel like?
It just amazes me, honestly. Like, it's insane how I was able to even put up some numbers like that. It all goes back to the play calling and my team all hyping me up before the game. You know, me and Miles, we get pretty amped up to go up against everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about this team. You know, you mentioned Miles McLaughlin, and a lot of the times we're on the broadcast, it's hard to tell you two apart. You guys play very similarly. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but to us, you guys really bring the intensity along with Miles. Who else on this team do you want to shine a light on and spread the love and say, hey, these guys make me look good just as much as I am good?
Yeah, so we've got on the line, we've got seniors Landon, Isaiah Jones, Landon Howard, and Caleb Schwant. They get us all amped up before the game, and they're always there to pick us up if we get down. And we pick them up because they're our boys. They block for us. Mm-hmm. They're the ones taking the hits for us to make sure we can get to the end zone. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and then talk about this. You're also on the defensive end. You're a two-way player a lot of the times throughout the game. You've got energy out the wazoo, it looks like. Talk about what it's like on the defensive end when you're with your teammates.
So in the secondary, we're just really focused because, secondary, you mess up, everybody notices. We have to know our assignments. We got to be able to talk to each other.
Well, let's talk about some of the coaching staff. There's a lot of coaches on this team, Russ Radtke being one of them. What's it like playing for a Russ Radtke coach team?
Oh, he's tough. He makes sure we know all of our assignments. He'll call us out every single meeting, every Saturday. It seems like he's always calling me out for something I messed up with, but it's all good. It makes me better, trying to make sure I improve my game.
Well, and when I'm out at practice, I notice you guys have a really good relationship with the other coaches. Assistant coach Julio Cisneros, you have a good relationship with Coach Short and also Bo Radtke, and we see Tyler Radtke on Friday nights. It just seems like, other than even with Russ, it seems like this whole coaching staff really, really dives in and is a part. It's almost like a family out there. Would you agree?
Yeah, we all love each other. We all pick each other up. Coach Bo, he's always been there for all of us. Every coach will have our back. Whenever Russ gets on us, the coach will step in. They'll have our back if they know we're doing something like that they told us to. It's all love on their team. Russ understands too. He pushes us, and he makes sure that we're doing everything correctly, but if the coaches said something, they'll step in.
Well, let's talk about the big-time rivalry win over North Judson-San Pierre. We talked before we started the recording, your freshman and sophomore year, you weren't able to beat the Blue Jays. Here you are in your junior year, and you're able to take care of business. Tell us what that had to feel like for you.
I mean, it means a lot because these past 2 years we've come up short, especially last year being shut out by Judson. To me, it means a lot to me in my grade because we've never beat Judson ever. So a lot of my boys, we were all really excited. We got lineman Noah Bolin. Me and him were pretty hyped after the game, after finally beating Judson after all these years.
Well, and I got to ask, what was that locker room like? Just give us a glimpse of what you can share with us, what the atmosphere was like when you guys got back to that locker room.
It was pretty loud. We were all amped up, yelling until Russ Radtke walks in. He quieted us down and told us, it's on to next week. This is in the past already. We got to focus up. We got a new assignment.
Well, let's talk about your family. What are your parents' names?
My dad is John Conroy, and my mother's Kathleen Conroy.
And talk about the support system that they are for you.
My dad and mom, they support me a lot throughout all my sports, within getting me to sports and making sure I'm still doing well and everything. They've been great role models to me. They're into sports, and they've always loved it, loved watching me.
Well, what's it mean to Jake Conroy to be a Knox Redskin?
I love it. Ever since coming here, it's just been the best. I love all of us here, everybody that supports each other. There's no negativity, and we all just pick each other up. We're all like a family here at Knox.
Well, and I meant to ask this a little bit earlier in the interview. You touched base on Miles McLaughlin. I also wanted to touch base on Rowan Jordan. It seems like between you, Miles, and Rowan Jordan, you guys are on the same page right now. Do you see this? How do you see this playing out the rest of the season for you three along with the rest of the team?
We're like a triple threat. You never know who's going to get the ball. We're all pretty tough on the field. We're pretty smart with knowing what to do. We know our assignments, so it's pretty scary. I'm sure teams going up against us.
Well, what's the overall goal for this team? Do you have a goal in mind for this team, or what is the goal being set by the coaching staff?
Well, our goal is to hopefully make it to state this year, but we're really focused on getting this first undefeated season in Knox, and going back-to-back sectional championships, first time in Knox. See, last year was the second time Knox has ever won the sectional championship, so we're looking to go back-to-back this year.
Well, Jake, congratulations on being named our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. We are so excited to see where this team goes. Congratulations on your big win over Judson. Good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we're talking about that undefeated season here shortly.
Yep. Thank you. Listen in on Saturday Sports Line. We love to hear it.
I appreciate the confidence boost there from Jake, as he loves hearing the Saturday Sports Line each week. We're so glad that he was able to sit down and talk with us. Appreciate his time. Also, big shout out to Athletic Director Neil Minix of the Knox Redskins for helping me set that interview up. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. More sports talk coming your way. We're going to talk North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jay Volleyball with head coach Jennifer Radtke, and Knox Lady Redskin Volleyball with Caity Keiper. That's on the other side. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Miles McLaughlin takes the snap, hands off to Jake Conroy up the middle. He is still on his feet, gets the first down and more. Now he's in Blue Jay territory before he's brought down at the 45-yard line. It looks like a game of pinball out there, Chris. So, first time we've seen the Blue Jays this year, it's Josiah McDaniel. Under center. Takes the snap, hands off. That's Brock Benson breaking away to the 35, now to the 40, now to the 45, cuts back over to the 50, now to the 45-40 in Knox Redskin territory to the 35, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. And I think that was a response the Blue Jays wanted, Chris.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
It's time now for more local sports talk from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Miles McLaughlin under center, rolls out, he's going to throw. Now he's got a Blue Jay after him, gets rid of it, and it's intercepted by Brock Benson, who found his place immediately. So he intercepts it right at the 44-yard line. Big time play for the Blue Jays. From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to transition and talk some volleyball. We have head coach of the Knox Lady Redskins, Caity Keiper, in the house. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Well, I wanted to talk about this lady volleyball team. I know that you guys have been putting in a lot of effort. You know, we talk about football a lot in the fall. Of course, there's cross country, there's golf, but there's also volleyball, and I wanted to shine a light on that today. Let's talk about this team. I'm sure you have a lot of players that have been making waves on this team.
Oh, absolutely. If we're shining a spotlight on these girls have, since day one, since I got appointed by the school board to be the head coach here, they have worked so hard for me since day one. They have been in the weight room all summer. They have completely bought into my system. They have completely bought into my philosophy. And they are just incredibly coachable, and they are incredibly hard workers. You will not see a group of girls lift more weights than these girls. It's actually incredible.
Well, let's talk about your philosophy. What as a head coach do you look for out of a volleyball team?
So as head coach, this is obviously my first time being head coach. But as a player, I am 6'2". So my focus is blocking, and my focus is my offense. I never passed before, so that's just, kind of getting used to that. But I like a fast offense, and I don't think the girls were necessarily used to that, but they have completely bought in. They love it. They think it's very aggressive, and which it is, and that has been our main focus this year.
Talk about some of these players on this team. Who has been standing out so far this season to you?
Megan Tim, she's our senior setter. She has just been a rock. She's she serves. She's always on the ground hustling. I don't know if she's the top server on our team, but she's high up there, but she's right up there with Diggs. She has the most assists on her team. She's just an all-around good player. She is short. That's my only hang up with her. But we have our hitters are Rylan Jordan, Joanna White. That's an outside and a middle. Joanna can out-jump anyone.
Wow.
Anyone. She's not the tallest, but she plays like she's tall. She plays very, very, very big. Rylan is just a sophomore. I'm really looking forward to another few years with her. She's just a great athlete all around. I know she's a great basketball player. I just can't wait to watch those two develop. And then we have Peyton Spinagle as my libero.
I know that name.
You can tell she plays club volleyball. She's got the volleyball IQ. She knows where to be and when to be there. And that is my weak spot is passing. They don't put big girls in the back row.
Sure.
And with her, I don't really have to coach her up too much. She kind of helps me out with some stuff. We talk. We have a really good relationship. My captains this year, Jaden Williams. She's had a little bit of an injury there. I'm moving her around, and she's taken it all in stride. Grace Wackel. She is my other setter. I run a 6'2". She cares about volleyball more than anybody cares about volleyball. That girl's always coming to me with stuff. It's just a really, really good relationship. Even if all of these relationships just started in June, I think we've really, really come together.
We'll talk about the coaching staff. Who do you have with you this year?
Well, my Megan Tim, my senior setter, her sister is my JV coach. Nice. I coached her. I had a short coaching stint at Knox, must have been 2015 or 16. And I coached Maddie. Her name is Maddie Salyer now. She's been married. I always forget that. But she is my JV coach. The girls love her. She's great. And then my volunteer coach is actually Grace's mother. Sherry Walker's also a teacher at the school. Absolutely invaluable. She's been with the program, so she can kind of, help me out with that stuff. You coming in, you don't really know about a program, like how to do stuff, when to wear stuff, where to go. She kind of puts me in my place is what I need.
Well, it sounds like you've got the group around you helping you coach, but then what do you provide? What do you think that is your main? You told us what your philosophy is, but now that you've told us what your assistants provide, what is it that you provide for the girls?
I have a lot of knowledge. I've been coached by several incredible coaches. I actually got the opportunity to play at 2 Division I schools. Wow. I transferred halfway through my career. So I've been coached. Anytime I step on the floor, I think about any coach that I've ever had, and I try to take the good from what they have provided me and try to take just little pieces and make it my own. And I think with all the years that I've played, all the different levels that I've played at. I played Dunes Volleyball Club for Rick Ashmore. Jake Skelly was my coach here at Knox. And then I went to North Carolina and then ended up down in Indy. But I just really try to take pieces, all the good from those coaches, from those men. And John Hutton, he is the coach at Tippy Valley High School. He's kind of my mentor. I coached with him at Plymouth for a short while. So it's just a conglomeration. It's my own experience too, just bringing it together.
Well, then I got to ask this. Being an alumna of Knox, what does it mean to be able to coach where you went to high school? What's that mean to you?
Everything. I have a daughter who just started kindergarten. I think that she's the job was open, and I have a family, and we kind of try to go through things, make the right decision for my family. And my husband is a graduate of Knox High School, and just. It's an honor. It truly is an honor. My jersey's hanging on the wall. I just got into the Hall of Fame this year, and to wear red again, I'm wearing my red coaching polo right now, and I could wear it every day. It means everything to me. Knox made me everything that I am. I went out and I made a career for myself as a court reporter, and now I'm back teaching criminal justice here and coaching Redskin volleyball, and I can't wait to constantly improve. I know next year will be better than this year, and my roots are deep here, and I just can't wait to make it my own.
I always ask our coaches in the area, what's your message to Knox Redskin Nation in hopes they come out to see you guys play?
You will not find a harder working group of girls. They deserve your encouragement. They deserve you to come watch them play. They play hard, and they leave everything they've got on the court.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Appreciate your time, Coach. It means a lot. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that's head coach of the Knox Lady Redskins, Caity Keiper, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to transition over to the other side of the county and talk with North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays head coach, Jennifer Radtke. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, we're so glad you stopped in to talk with us. We talked about the Knox Lady Redskins. Now it's time to talk about the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. Talk about this team. Who are some of the players that we need to know about?
I have a couple seniors, Lindley Martin and Reese Johnston. They've been with me for these past 4 years that I've been at Judson. They really step up. Lindley likes to hit the ball, go after it hard, and is an all-around player. And Reese is my libero of the team.
Well, it sounds like you've got some leaders on this team. What about some underclassmen? Anybody that you've really been surprised with here throughout this season?
This year, Gracie Minix is a junior, and she's really trying to perfect her outside hit. We've moved her to that role this year instead of a middle hitter. So she's really trying to get a handle on getting the kill every time.
Well, talk about this coaching staff. You said you had a head coach for the JV?
Yes, her name is Crystal Wright. She came to us this summer and just started working with our program.
Well, what does she provide to this program that you really appreciate as a head coach?
I think she's a strong individual, and when she wants to do plays, do practice, she's an all-in coach. She gives it 110% all the time.
Well, let's talk about this season so far. It's looking strong. You know, you guys have been winning a lot of matches. Followed you on social media. You had a couple of players break some records, I believe. Why don't you share with our listeners who they are?
Reese Johnston, our senior, she is our libero, like I said. She broke the 1,000 dig record along with getting 1,000 serve receive. And also Lindley Martin, she broke the record last week at our North White game with 1,000 kills, 1,000 digs, and 1,000 serve receive balls. Yes.
Wow.
Very impressive.
That is very impressive. And talk about what that must do to the morale of the team. I'm sure that everyone was so excited for them.
Super excited. Reese was a little surprised. I hadn't really got onto the stats and putting them in the computer, and they like to see those, but I kind of held back on it, and seeing her so surprised that night, that meant everything actually to me, that she didn't know when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I was able to present her a game ball.
Yeah, I saw that.
To award her the accomplishment.
Right. I mean, that was such a cool thing that happened. And talk about this team a little bit. Is this where you think this team should be?
This is where we should be. We've had some lineup changes. Couple girls leaving the team and kind of mixing the lineup completely around a couple games, starting people where they normally don't start, starting newbies, bringing a freshman up, and she is now in the starting lineup, doing a little bit of JV and varsity, which is probably not very common, but I like where we're at right now and hopes that with what we're doing, we can continue to grow and get better.
So did you set a goal for this team, or do you have a goal in mind for this volleyball team?
We have set a goal to hopefully win conference and maybe grab a sectional again.
So take the HNAC and also become a sectional champion. How have the girls responded to that goal that you've set for them?
They're working hard every day. They really want it. As I've been here, we were sectional champs 2 years right off the bat, and we just couldn't finish it last year. So they're hungry. They want to get that sectional win, and for the seniors, that's important to them.
Well, I got to ask, Coach, what would be your message to Blue Jay Nation in hopes you get some people that need to come out and watch your girls play?
These girls come to practice every day, or they're at a match. We're going in the gym 5-6 days a week. I just ask that come out and support them, cheer them on. They love the support. They love to see the gyms filled, and so they're ready to compete for you.
Well, it was interesting. We talked before we started the interview. We're connecting the dots. Of course, I announced your son a lot last year, Logan Radtke. How's he doing in college right now? How's he doing this fall?
He's doing great. He's been there about a month. Finally,
Marion, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And he's loving football so far. Loves being out there with all the guys.
Yeah.
So he's adjusting well.
Well, you make sure we told him we said hello.
I will. Thank you.
We're rooting for him. Boy, what energy he had. Do you have that same energy that he brings?
I don't.
You think the players would agree with that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in and talking about your Lady Blue Jays. It means a lot, and good luck the rest of the way. We'll keep our eye on you, and hopefully we'll have a chance to talk about you being a sectional champion here later on in the season.
Thanks, Mitch.
That's head coach Jennifer Radtke of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. Don't go anywhere. Austin Foust, he's up next, head coach of the Culver Cavaliers Football Club. We'll get him on the line. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Redskins knocking on the door in Blue Jay territory. Miles McLaughlin takes the snap. He's looking to throw. Wide open, it's Jake Conroy! But Cole Wilcox bats it out of the air. What a defensive stop for the Blue Jays, Chris. So Josiah McDaniel on 2nd and 8 takes the snap under center. He's going to fake the handoff to Cole Wilcox, looking to throw. Deep pass play. That's Trey McGowan. It's going to be caught, and he is brought down at the 16-yard line. Big time pass play from Josiah McDaniel to Trey McGowan, Chris.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
Takes the snap, hands off to Brock Benson, who works his way forward, and he is going to get the touchdown. It's a North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay touchdown. Brock Benson, as the Blue Jays are going to tie this thing up 7-6 right now. 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Well, it's pretty obvious we're going into OT today, so we're making up for lost time last week. We've got head coach Austin Foust on the line of the Culver Cavaliers. He's got limited time, so let's go ahead and bring him on in. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad today. You know, I know it's been a tough season for you guys, a learning curve. Unfortunately, tough loss against Triton last night. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Just summarize what you can tell us that's going on right now.
Yeah, obviously I know the score doesn't reflect it, but I thought we, played one of our better first halves of the season. So, that's, positives there. We came out, we, throw an interception on the first play, and they take it down to the, about 2-yard line and score about 2 plays later. And then we take an 80-yard drive and go down the field and end it with a Jack Rogers rushing touchdown and go down 8-6. And then, next play they throw one over the top of our heads. We have a guy there just kind of gets his feet tripped up and falls down, and it's 14-6. So, kind of that's kind of the issues we've been having the last couple of weeks, where just kind of the consistency of being able to make plays and not give up big plays.
Talk about Jack Rogers a little bit. We saw him in week 2, and then even with the losses, he's having big games, Coach.
Yeah, Jack's been really steady for us all season so far. We after the week 2, we moved him to kind of our running back position full time, and He's right around probably 90, 100 yards a game. He had a big 90-yard kickoff return for us against West Central last week, and another rushing touchdown, and had another one last night. And then defensively, he really played well too. Was our leading tackler. So, he's been really steady for us. It's just, what we're kind of constantly talking about with our team and in practice and after games is we just got to have somebody else, some more guys make plays. Jack's, he's a good football player, but, we can't have him making everything for us. So, we're obviously a young team searching for some things, and that's kind of the biggest thing right now is just having other guys step up and make plays. When you're, blocking a guy one-on-one, are you able to make plays? When you're, balls in the air, who's going to come down with it? And, guys running at you, you're going to be able to make a tackle. Just things like that we've got to, keep working at, and hopefully, we can start making those plays as we go to the second part of the season here.
All right, Coach, I know you got a prior commitment, so real quick here, you travel to Winamac this Friday. What do you know about the Warriors?
Yeah, obviously, I think Coach Burgess got them playing their best football right now. So, obviously they've been improving every week. Obviously they played really well against the rivalry game last night. Against the Blue Jays, it fell up short. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a game where, defensively, Coach Burgess does a really good job with that 4-3 defense they run, and we're going to have to be able to make plays. We're going to have to start obviously making plays of the passing game and not have teams kind of just crowd the box on us. And then defensively, we got to start getting stops and not give up big plays. And hopefully we can do that this week, and hopefully we can kind of spoil homecoming.
All right, we're going to go ahead and let you go, but the one thing I do have to know, it's T-ball, right? Are you coaching T-ball this morning?
I am. Sometimes I'm the first base coach. My wife actually coaches, so whenever she looks at me and tells me she needs me on first base, that's when I get to step in and step out.
So how do you step, real quick, how do you step away from being a head football coach on a Friday night to coaching T-ball on a Saturday morning? Kind of opposite ends of the spectrum there. Do you ever catch yourself wanting to turn into football coach mode?
Oh yeah, sometimes yeah. On first base, I might overcoach it a little bit on how to be on the bag and things like that. And we got kids that are my son included that wants to take his helmet off and wear it backwards like a hat and run around and play in the dirt. So, but it's a good end of the spectrum. It's obviously when you have tough nights on a Friday night, it's fun to come out here and be with the little kids, and obviously, they don't care about anything just as long as the snacks are here.
Right, that's right. Yeah, got to have a good snack. A little bug juice and some good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we're the snack guys this week. We got Kool-Aid Jammers and some bomb popsicles.
There you go.
Bomb popsicles.
There you
nice.
go.
Well, Coach, right. We're looking forward to this coming week. Two teams that are searching for a win desperately. We're expecting a big-time game. We're going live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. We look forward to seeing you in practice this week, Coach.
Yeah, sounds good. See you guys this week. Thanks for everything.
Absolutely. That's head coach Austin Foust of the Culver Cavaliers here on the Saturday Sports Line. We appreciate his time as he's getting ready for a big-time T-ball game today. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to talk about that South Central big-time win last night over Hammond Knoll on the road, 50-22, with head coach Buzz Schoff after the break. Josiah McDaniel from shotgun, Brock Benson right behind him. Takes the snap, fake hands off, looking to throw. Fires, he's wide open, and he's going to get the touchdown. Big play. Huge play on fourth down for the Blue Jays as they score. It's a North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay touchdown.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. Now let's return to more of the Saturday Sports Line with WKVI Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
McDaniel from shotgun sets his man in motion, takes the snap, and he's going to throw it wide open. It's Cole Wilcox who's going to break a tackle and get to the 10, the 5. He's still on his feet before he's knocked out of bounds at about the 2-yard line, and that was Rowan Jordan who helped knock him out. What a play that was, Chris.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line on the brink of going into overtime today. So glad you've joined us. Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowan. We've got head coach of the South Central Satellites, Buzz Schoff, in the house. Big time win yesterday, Coach. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad this morning.
50-22. You put 50 points on the board. You had to feel pretty good about that.
At the end of the day, I mean, that's a good day. If anybody ever saw the beginning of that game and knowing the outcome of that game, you would have thought no way that's possible. So, we kick off. We get a nice kick. They start the drive on like the 32-yard line. I'm thinking, man, that's probably the best starting field position our defense has had all season long. And it's not perfect. I know we got kickers out there that can kick in the back of the end zone, but we just ain't got one of them. So we'll take the 32-yard line, and they run the exact play that we knew they were going to run, 30 times in the game, and we set our defense just to stop that play. Just stop it on the first play, and maybe they think that play doesn't work. They're going to run it again, but let's do this the very first play. We're going to change everything that we do the first play just to stop that play. And you look at it, and we got 3 guys on the tailback before the quarterback even hands him the ball. We got 3 guys standing there, and he breaks it off and goes to the house. It's like, okay, great. I love my team right now.
I've been there. Oh, my goodness. I'm having flashbacks of my first year at Knox at South Bend St. Joe. They had a formation that we planned for all week. And, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is what they're going to run. The first play, sure enough, and so we're going to intercept the ball because they're not going to expect this. And now we had my corner looks at the other corner because of how we were going to line up. No, I got it. I'm screaming, no. I got it. And he gives up a touchdown pass over his head. Oh my God. I'm about ready to pass out just because I'm so upset.
Because I just pulled my microphone down in front of my mouth. I go, were there 3 or 4 guys in the backfield there?
Please and then there was a
Please say 3. Then there was a discussion. And so, we get back to the huddle. It's now kickoff return. I'm like, okay, we ready to play football now? I don't know what's happening. And
I don't know what.
we get a nice return. We almost break one loose. And it ends up being like, we tripped on, whatever, a piece of broccoli on the field or something, and fall down. And I'm like, okay, well, here comes the offense, right? And I told him, I said, we have, every week we go in with a play that we want to start off with. This is the play we want to run first. This will give us the best look of how they are going to play us off the bat. This is the play that will show us everything. And so I call that play, and it is wide open. And Zach overthrows Aaron out in the flat, and their kid's just sitting there, not even and just takes that to the 2-yard line, and then the next play they end up scoring, and we're down 14-0 in a football game that I thought was gonna be.
And I got that text from athletic director John Haggard, and then he texted me a little bit later. You guys just popped off out of nowhere.
So because I had made the comment to Ben Anderson, our superintendent. He goes, so is it going to be worth the drive? Just joking around, and I said, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Down 14,
and we're down 14-0. He goes, what are you doing?
Did he really?
And I said, I don't know. It's just it's high school kids, right? Like that's why you love it, and that's why you hate it. You got high school kids. They're gonna make mistakes, and you just hope the mistakes don't end up in points. And our mistakes ended up in points, and we're down 14-0, and then okay, we put a drive together. We drive down and score. And now because we were down 14-0, and they're 40 seconds off the clock. Like it's like it's got to get better than this.
Right. Only way to go.
Yeah.
And so, and then at halftime we're up, I forget what it was, 32-14, something like that. And it's like at halftime, I'm thinking, if we come out like that next week, what's the worst case scenario? And then you realize the worst case scenario is you're down 14-0. Like
or maybe 16.
Yeah.
It can't be any worse than that. There were 3 plays from scrimmage, and there were 14 points. So it can't be any worse than what it was. So, but you're happy that, the kids never
responded,
gave up to it. When you're down 14 points and there's only 40 seconds left off the clock, which we've been in this situation more times than I'd care to admit, being in the position that I'm in, but you don't ever want to be. I remember a couple years ago playing Boone Grove when they had their undefeated season, and then ended up losing in the sectional. The Van kid that they had at tailback returned a kickoff return for us. We were down 7-0, and 7 seconds had run off the clock, and our kids were like, oh, great, because we knew how good they were at the time, but we didn't have that last night. It was like, okay, we got to pick it up. We're not yelling at each other. We're not. It just had a good vibe to it of, okay, just keep doing what we're doing and we're going to be okay. And then at the end of the day, when you look at the clock, you're like, hey, it's 50 to 22.
I think you did the job.
And I'm kind of mad about it
because of the way it started.
Because of the way it started. It wasn't they scored 22 points throughout the duration of the game. They scored 14 points before we even started playing, and so that just resonates in your head. And as a coach, you got to be careful, because you just remember that they scored 14 points off of you right on the bat, and you're up 50 to 22, and it's time to get. It's time to get this guy in.
Right.
Give him some looks. Let mom get a picture of him out there on the field. Stuff like that. And you forget that in that type of game. But you just wish that your kids come out from the beginning, make a statement. Let's roll through this thing and let's have some fun. But they got to make you mad at some point in a football game.
Well, yeah. I mean, you give up 14 points and they've run one offensive play. That's the part that's like. They've run one play and they got 14 points. Oh, my God.
Well, let's talk about from after those 14 points, what was the focus like? I'm guessing Aaron Hogan and Zach Canshar had a hand in those 50 points last night. Talk about some of the players as well as, Zach and Aaron.
Well, so, it was really a collective effort. Our offense is predicated on what are they going to give us, and we have to take advantage of what they're going to give us. We try to put defensive linemen and outside linebackers in a predicament where you're never going to be right. So you just have to make it look like you're doing something, but do something else. But we try to make it just so they are always going to be wrong, and if they're right, we're still going to be positive yardage. So. That comes down to everybody. If our offensive tackles aren't down blocking hard, then Aaron doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
If our guards aren't pulling through and making good contact with linebackers, getting that outside shoulder, then that hole's not there. It's just not there. If our wideouts aren't running crisp routes and running the correct combinations and understanding spacing and finding windows, then Zach has nowhere to throw the ball. So everybody is doing their job and nothing more, nothing less, and that's making others look not better than what they are, but looking like they are, a premier athlete, as opposed to, well, that's an easy throw because the wideout is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. The offensive lineman is giving him time, so he's making that throw. So last night everything just kind of came together, because once we got down 14, we didn't change anything we were doing. We just did it better. When you get like that, you can yell and scream and be mad all you want, but at the end of the day, all it is look, just focus more on what you're doing. All right. We know that you can do this in your sleep. We know that you do this every day and you do it for 3 hours a day. But now I just need you to focus on it and make sure that every step you take is the right step. Because once you get to that point, like it goes back to, okay, yes, think about it a little bit. What you don't want to do is overthink it. A lot of times, when you start thinking, you're slower, or you're not firing off as hard, or whatever. Your placement's incorrect. But when you're struggling, think about it. Just go through your head. What am I supposed to be doing? And then it gets to the point where you do it without thinking.
Sure.
So it's just one of those games where you're just glad that you're on the winning side of it,
and you're on the road, and it's a road win.
Yeah, and you got to go all the way to Whiting. I mean,
that's a long drive.
I don't know what would have happened if I had to, if we would have lost that football game, and I would have had to ride back to Whiting, from Whiting, on the bus. Like, I had just been mad, and everybody would have known that I'd been grumpy. I mean, I was grumpy to begin with. I mean, I was yelling at the kids on the bus to begin, like, even after that one. So, but it's just good to get one of those on your belt, and it's a nice confidence boost going into Judson this week, and on
the road again.
So It'll be fun. I tell our kids, like, listen, Judson may be the premier 1A football team in our area. So if you want to be the best, you got to go through them. If you can show that you can play with them, then you can play with just about anybody if you want to. But it's a challenge, definitely. I mean,
this is the first time you guys have played, correct?
I don't think it's the first time we've ever played in school history. I don't know about that. I didn't look at that statistic, but I've never coached against them. No.
Well, and then Brett Lambert had said he said he hopes this will start a new rivalry for them.
Well, it's one of those things. So, we join their conference next year.
Right.
We join their conference next year, and I know that it's a very, very competitive conference. There's not an easy game on the schedule. You got to bring your best every game. Just being an ex-LaPorte guy, I don't like to bring up the past, and the kids always give me a hard time being a LaPorte guy because it has a big brother, little brother connotation to it. But just being a LaPorte guy, that's how the DAC is. Nobody's got the easy game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. The worst team in that conference may go 0-7, but they're never completely out of every game.
Right.
And that's kind of what that conference has a feel to. There's always going to be that bottom tier team, but they always. You can't just overlook them. You don't look at the next week past that team because everybody has their strength and everybody can beat you on any given night. So just going over to Judson next week, I think it's an awesome addition to our schedule. There's a lot of people that would question why would South Central schedule North Judson. At North Judson? Well, it was because we either played North Judson or we played Griffith. Like those were the two choices, and I'm going to take Judson every time. That's a possible sectional opponent. That's a 1A school. They're 20 minutes away. It doesn't matter. I want our kid, and I firmly believe that it's a test for our kids of what it's going to take. If you want to go to the next level, if you really, really, really want to be a sectional championship team, a state quality team, then Judson's going to show you exactly what that takes. When you line up toe to toe with them, their kids are going to be able. I mean, if we had a weightlifting competition, like we're not in the top 10. We don't have a kid in the top 10, but they do. They got some kids that can push some weight around in the weight room. They got some kids that are fast, they're strong, and they're athletic. our kids need to see that's what it takes, and that's what they're going to get on Friday night.
Experience.
This is where you need to be. If you're going to talk the game, and you're going to say, come August 1st, like, because everybody's a state champion in August 1st, right? Everybody's winning a state championship August 1st, right? Well, if you're going to say that, like, this is what it's going to take, and this is where you got to be come August 1st. So I'm excited about next week, and I'm just glad for the opportunity just to play another game under the lights. I mean, that's why we do it. That's what makes it awesome.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you sticking around this long. I know we went a little bit longer than we normally do, but thank you for being here and chatting with us. It means a lot. What a win last night, 50-22. You got to hold your head high after that.
Absolutely. It's always good to get one of those, and hopefully we can keep the train rolling and keep putting up some points.
Well, good luck next week at Liberty Field. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Thanks for your time. That's head coach Buzz Schoff of the South Central Satellites here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break. Actually, no, we're going straight into the Where Are They Now segment with Harold Welter. You know him well. This is the Saturday Sports Line.
McDaniel takes the snap, hands off the bits and up the middle, breaks away to the 40, now to the 45-50. He's tripped up by Jake Conroy before he's tackled at the 49 in Knox Redskin territory. That's a Brock Benson first down, baby.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of local high school sports coverage on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now.
Well, as we look back on more than 50 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, our guest again today is Tim Roth, a 1972 graduate of Winamac High School, and we talked with Tim last week on the Where Are They Now segment about his high school sports experience, but we had to bring him back because when he graduated from Winamac, he goes to college, he goes into teaching and coaching, and becomes a very successful Hall of Fame coach at Winamac High School over a 40-year period. When did you decide, Tim, that you wanted to be a football coach, and what made you decide that?
Well, it's kind of a sad story, actually, Harold. I went to Indiana State and thought I could play football there because I'd had a fairly successful high school career. Well, that didn't work out, and my mom allowed me to go to Indiana State to try and pursue that dream, but she goes, you're going to get a degree that you can get a job. You're not going to be stuck here on the farm, which there's nothing wrong with being stuck on the farm. Yeah. She just wanted something better for us. So I started out, believe it or not, in medical technology. And it took me one semester to figure out, this is way too much chemistry for me. I got to switch majors and find something that I might have some success at. So a friend of mine on the football team, Bill Mitz, he was out of Niles West High School in Chicago, said, you ought to go into education. You ought to go into teaching, and you could coach. And I go, no, I'm not doing that. And well, then I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, I'd have my summers off. I could get another job because teaching doesn't pay real well. So I did, and I came home and told my mom, I'm switching my major. Well, she had a fit, and I said, I'm going into education. You're not going into education. Yeah, I am. And she goes, well, I'll let you do that on one condition. And I go, what's the one condition? She goes, you're not a social studies major. Because at the time, everybody taught social studies, and she thought, just a dumb coach. He's going to teach social studies and PE. So I said, well, science wasn't my thing. That was obvious from my grades first semester, Mom. So I decided that I would go in and become a math major and go into education and be a math teacher. And I picked up a PE minor as well, or major as well. And that's how I got started. And I went through and did my student teaching and everything, put some resumes out all up north. Actually got a couple job interviews, one at Mechanical High School next to the air base. Who at the time, the superintendent was an old retired general. I, of course, coming out of college, I had long hair and a mustache. And he goes, if I give you the job, would you cut your mustache? And this was 1977, now remember. And I go, I suppose I could, but I haven't thought about it, but I really don't think I would. It's got nothing to do with my ability. Well, the interview was over, and needless to say, I didn't get that job. Then Bremen called, and I actually accepted a teaching job at Bremen. No football coaching. I was going to be the girls' head basketball coach right out of college, and I'm thinking...
And that was when girls' basketball was just starting.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking, I really don't want to do this, but if this is the only job I got to take it because I got a wife and we're expecting a baby. And so about, I don't even know when it was, Harold, anymore. Just a few weeks before school started, Boyd Reedaboo, who was the elementary principal at Winamac, called and said the superintendent was gone, so Boyd was acting superintendent or whatever you wanted to call it back then, and was hiring teachers. Well, a math teacher had left the middle school, and he goes, I hear you got a math degree. Yeah. Would you be interested in teaching 7th grade math in the junior high? Sure. What do I do? So I went in and applied and all that good stuff, got the job, and 40 years later, I retired.
Again, going back to my original question, when did you decide you wanted to be a football coach, and what made you decide that?
Well, that F in chemistry was the biggest thing that got me going. But I'd say it had to be, Bill Mitz talking to me and thinking that, you look like you'd be a good candidate to be a teacher and a coach because at that time we had played intramural sports and stuff there at Indiana State, and I kind of headed out the softball team and made out lineups and stuff like that. Just little things. I don't know why Bill thought that, but and I decided then that after talking with him and a couple other guys, I think I'd like to try that. And when I came back to town then, and coaching wise, Rick Byers and I were hired on the same day, and they had junior high football and basketball openings. And Rick, I don't know why he got first choice, but I think I said, you take first choice on what you want. So he took the higher basketball job, which then led him on to down the road become a head basketball coach. Right. I took the higher football job. I was the 8th grade coach. He was the 7th grade coach, and which propelled me on then to be an assistant at the high school the next 3 years, and then the head coach. So it's kind of just a process, I guess.
You won over 160 games as a head coach, multi-sectionals, regionals, had a lot of conference success. Going back over all of those years, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you last week about your playing days. What's the one game that stands out now, all these years later, more than any other?
I thought you might ask me that question. And thinking back about it, probably the one game that stands out the most was Tyler's senior year. He and his younger brother Parker were both on the team. I had 2 nephews as well on the team. Lo and behold, for some reason, we had senior night, homecoming, whatever, all on the same night. And at the start of the game, they always had a ceremony where they bring in the game ball. One year it came in a helicopter. Right. One year it came, a parachutist brought it in. Well, that year, unbeknownst to me, they got a hold of my mom, and Dr. Brad Crawford drove her in a convertible, and she had the game ball and handed it to all of my nephews and my sons and myself, and that was kind of a touching moment. And we went on to win the game and finished the regular season that night undefeated. So that's probably from a selfish standpoint, my favorite time because my mom was involved. Tyler senior night, going undefeated was a big deal at that time. But there's a lot of games that you could say the same thing about. And probably, honestly, Harold, I probably remember now more the losses, the key losses that we had than I do the wins because they still kind of stick in your craw. They just kind of stick with it. That loss to Tri-Central in the semi-state back in 2013, that was so uncalled for, and it just aggravates me that we didn't get the job done. The other semi-state appearance back in 2000, we were up against a really, really, really good Fort Wayne Lures team that, a couple of those guys went on and played in the NFL. So to come back and tie them in the second half and have a chance at winning and then losing that, it just gives you a raunchy feeling in your gut. But you try and wipe those out and think about all the good things that came out of it, the wins that you got, the championships that were formed. But most importantly to me is the relationships that you develop with your players and assistant coaches and the times that you share with them. And, I've been retired now 7 years, and I still get guys stopping by the house or making a phone call. Hey, Coach, could I use your name for a reference, or could I do this? Or, Coach, what are you up to? Or, Coach, are you still in good health, and all those kind of things. So just a lot of great memories from that.
We're talking with Tim Roth, a 1972 graduate of Winamac High School in our Where Are They Now segment. And we'll be back to continue our conversation after this timeout.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Our guest is Tim Roth, a 1972 graduate of Winamac High School, and you did a lot of coaching, obviously a lot of playing as well, but let me ask you this. What advice do you give young athletes who want to have the kind of success that you had?
Well, I'll use the story that I tell my grandkids. My oldest grandson, Aiden, played for Fort Wayne Carroll and is now at University of St. Francis, starting his freshman year playing ball. And I've got 2 granddaughters playing volleyball at Zionsville. And I send them emails on game days a lot of times. I'm not as steady with the girls as I was with Aiden because he only played once a week. They play like 3 times. But I tell them, play hard, play smart, be coachable, be a great teammate, and most importantly, make it fun. And I think if you can do all those things, Harold, you're going to have individual success, but I think your team will be successful too. When you've got a bunch of coachable kids, regardless of how bright they are or how handicapped they are, if they're coachable, they will run through a brick wall for you to get the job done. And I just think if kids nowadays would realize and understand that, first thing you got to do is be coachable. You may not like your coach, but you love your sport. So he's there to try and make you a better player. In the process, it might make you a better person too. Not that you're bad to begin with, but you can always improve yourself. So I would say that advice covers a lot of territory, but if you can do those things and have fun on top, and it's not always going to be fun, I know that. It's not fun running wind sprints at the end of practice to get in shape. It's not fun lifting weights in the off season to try and get your body in condition to play regardless of the sport. But you can make it fun by being around the guys or the gals on your team and, getting involved with them. Life is so much more than sports, but sports can offer so much to life and enjoyment that when you look back at it, you I say my prayers every day and thank the good Lord for the life I've had, because I got to spend so much time in athletics and meet so many great people. And I'm not just talking about the people at Winamac. Being involved with the IFCA, I got to meet a lot of great coaches throughout the whole entire state of Indiana. A lot of great players that were opponents maybe that we played, or that appeared somewhere where I happen to be coaching. And it's those things that, when you look back at it, mean a lot. And I know young kids don't understand that, but someday they will. So play hard, play smart, be coachable, be a great teammate, and have fun. If you can do those 5 things, you're going to be successful.
Our guest has been Tim Roth, a 1972 graduate of Winamac High School, and obviously we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to have him back again someday, but we really appreciate him taking the time. And join us again next week here on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half-century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died in an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award, given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Lindley Martin, a member of the volleyball team at North Judson-San Pierre High School. Lindley is having an amazing season for the Lady Blue Jays. She recently achieved 1,000 career kills, 1,000 career digs, and 1,000 career serves received. Lindley is the daughter of Andy and Kristen Martin, as we congratulate Lindley Martin of North Judson-San Pierre High School, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Lindley will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating her achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. She will be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac. I'll make sure to get with Miss Martin this week, as that is going to wrap up another Saturday Sports Line in the books for us here at KVB's WKVI. We appreciate you. Thank you for voicing your concern. We needed to hear it. You needed to know how important this show is too, and we're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. We are going to continue this on. Until next week, keep up to date on the sports checks. Follow us on all of our social media sites, on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X, formerly Twitter at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. Until next week, you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to get on out of here. I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columbi and Sports Analyst Chris McGowan.